Welcome everyone, this is Kurtin's channel. Now we are back to our new episodes of two similar champions and comparison featured by Wild Rift, League of Legends versus the Mobile Legend Bang Bang. But before that, please like and subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click the bell icon so you will be notified to our new next episode video. Let's do this!
This is Akali, the rogue assassin. Once the most promising acolyte of her order, Akali is now a restless fighter of unsurpassed skill, who believes that sometimes balance needs a good shot. This highly mobile assassin prefers a hit-and-run approach, repeatedly striking her targets as she moves in and out of cover. Akali's passive is Assassin's Mark. Damaging a champion with an ability creates a ring around them. Crossing the ring's edge empowers her Kama, which increases the range and damage of Akali's next attack. The attack also restores a small amount of energy. When the ring first forms, Akali gains a burst of movement speed toward its edge. Once she crosses the edge of the ring, Akali gains another burst of speed when moving toward enemy champions. Is 5-point strike. Akali slings her kunai in a narrow arc, damaging enemies. Those struck at maximum range are also slowed. When cast at nearly full energy, Akali heals if she hits an enemy. Her energy bar will change color when the heal is available. Twilight Shroud. Akali drops a smoke bomb which slowly spreads over a ring-shaped area. While on the smoke, Akali has increased movement speed and is obscured. Obscured is different than just invisibility. Though her position can be revealed, Akali cannot be directly targeted by her enemies. This includes attacks from turrets. Gaining or losing obscured slightly extends the duration of Twilight Shroud each time. Strike from stealth before dipping back into smoke to keep it cloudy a little longer. Also, instantly restores energy. Consider activating Twilight Shroud not just for the stealth, but to use more of your other abilities. Akali backflips and throws a shuriken forward, damaging and marking the first enemy hit. Akali can reactivate shuriken flip to dash to the marked target, following them wherever they go. The shuriken can also mark Twilight Shroud, tagging the last area of the smokescreen hit, and allowing her to dash back to safety. Akali's ultimate is Perfect Execution. Akali dashes, damaging all enemies she comes across, and can cast her ult a second time with a cooldown in between. The first dash deals physical damage and briefly stuns. The second dash deals magic damage and is increased based on the missing health of each enemy. Akali's most powerful tool is her Twilight Shroud. Use the smokescreen to reposition and avoid retaliation at the same time. Here, Akali dances around her enemies and strikes Rakan from undercover, then says, "Sure I can," and dashes back into range to finish him.
You're dead, I'm alive. See? Balance.
You can tower dive without fear thanks to the obscuring effect of Twilight Shroud. When you start taking shots, just slip back into the smoke to drop aggro and keep up the attack. But think carefully about when and where to set off your smoke bomb. Your Shroud can set up sneaky plays, but if you hightail it from your cloud cover, you've got nothing to prevent elimination. The rogue assassin has several ways to keep up with opponents. As long as you land the first part of shuriken flip, you can reactivate it to follow them anyway. Then give them a high 5-point strike to slow things down when they try to flee. Akali is all about moving in and out of range, which means sometimes taking a step back is the best way forward. For maximum burst, remember to constantly cross the Assassin's Mark ring and keep your Kama swinging. Your ultimate adds still more movement to your repertoire. Because the dashes don't require a target, you can line up multiple stuns by passing through a cluster of enemies. Once you're in the thick of the fight, you can bide your time under the cover of Twilight Shroud before using the second dash and a flurry of cold steel to finish the execution.
It's not a rune that's used very often, but it's very good in Akali because it works incredibly well with energy champions. Especially someone like Akali who's constantly using energy and needs as much energy as possible because he's very likely to go out of energy. And if he goes out of energy, he's extremely useless. That's also how you counter her. You make her waste the energy and then you engage in her afterwards. But let's not get into that and let's continue with the runes. For the second one, you're going to go for Legend Tenacity. If you're stunned as a Kali, you die extremely fast. Being stunned for a shorter period of time is really important, gets you out of a lot of situations where you would just die. Now if the enemy team doesn't have any stuns, obviously you don't need to go this one. You can go for Bloodline instead, which is the healing one, Life Steal. Or you could go for Alacrity, which gives you attack speed. This all depends on you, but generally you want to go for Tenacity because it's the best one, unless you really don't need it. Alright, for the third one we're going for Coup de Grace. Now the reason this is the best one is because Akali is an assassin and you should be able to kill people instantly. Now you don't want to be in low health. Last Stand is generally thought of as the best rune in this one for top lane, but you don't want to be in low health on Akali. You want to be able to kill people while you're at max health. And you can only do that if you're going for Coup de Grace because that's the only one that helps you out in that situation. Now if you do end up in a situation where Last Stand makes more sense because you're always going to be chunked down, you're always going to be low on health, yes, Last Stand will be fine, but generally it's not your job and you could have picked a different champion in that case that would do the job much better. Alright, now we're getting into the second choice of runes. My preferred choice here would be Domination, and then you're going to go for Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter. And the reason for that is because Akali in the laning phase especially is a healing monster. All you do is heal, 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 poke, heal, poke, heal, poke, heal. That's what she does. Therefore, having a little bit extra healing, it goes a long way because once you have enough healing, it's really hard for your enemies to do anything to you. Now let's say you're playing Akali against the Jace. Well, you're not really going to be able to auto-attack him all the time. Taste of Blood is going to be kind of useless. In that case, you're going to go off for Resolve, and you'll be going for Second Wind, and potentially something like Overgrowth so you get a little bit more health. Could also go for Demolish or whatever else, but generally Overgrowth will be slightly better. Alright, now we talked about the main runes, let's get into the small runes. In the small runes, you want to go for Adaptive Force, and then Magic Resist or Armor depending on who you're against. And the reason for this is very simple. Akali doesn't attack many times in a row. He does a small poke, and a small poke. So attack speed is useless. Cooldown you don't really need. You need as much damage as possible so you can one-shot people. Once you're able to one-shot people, well, that's your goal, and then you're gonna snowball. So, look for the one-shot ability, go for Adaptive Force in both of them. Armor and Magic Resist depending who you're against. Mordekaiser, you go Magic Resist. Jax, you go Armor. It's pretty simple. Next up, we're gonna talk about the items. On Akali, you want to start with a Dawn Shield and 1 health potion. Because you don't really need any of the starting items, this gives you an incredible amount of healing whenever you get hit from the Dawn Shield. And as we talked about earlier, you're doing small pokes all the time, which means you're going to get a lot of benefit out of Dawn Shield. After that, you opt in for buying a Hextech Revolver, because it gives you a ton of burst every 40 seconds whenever it's off cooldown. And this burst is really perfect for your short trades that you're doing, and it's also perfect if you want to try and one-shot somebody. Perhaps the jungler's coming up, you want to get a kill, or maybe you're the one ganking mid lane or ganking the enemy jungler, and you're looking for that burst. Hextech Revolver does the job. After Hextech Revolver, you want to get in for a Blitzspotter Cutlass, because you're working towards a Gunblade, because you want to have the Gunblade as it gives you a ton of healing, and everything Akali needs is healing and damage. Perfect item for that. So you go for the Blitzspotter Cutlass. Then once you have that, you're going to upgrade into a Gunblade. And once you have the Gunblade, you have your core build. This is literally the core build. At this point, Akali is super strong. Most champions power spike at 2 to 3 items. The top lane, maybe even 4 items. But Akali already starts spiking at 1 item. After getting your Gunblade, what you want to opt in for is Sorcerer's Shoes, because they're amazing. They give you movement speed, which assassins need so you can catch people. And they give you magic penetration. And Akali's damage is really high in her base damage. She doesn't need that much AP, so getting magic penetration on Akali is super important. After the shoes, you're gonna opt in for either an Oblivion Orb or you're gonna work towards a Liandry's. If you don't need Morello's Nomicon at all during your game, and if people have high magic resist, then it's not that good to go Oblivion Orb, and it's better to go for Liandry's, and especially if they have a high health values. But if they don't have that, you wanna go Oblivion Orb, and then potentially upgrade it into Morello Nomicon, depending on how much healing the enemy team have. If they have a lot of healing, get the Morello Nomicon. If they don't have a lot of healing, just stay on Oblivion Orb, and then you go for Sunya's afterwards. And you're gonna go Sunya's regardless of which one of those 2 items you're choosing. Now after your Sunya's Hourglass, that is another power spike you have, because at this point you can engage fight, you can use your Sunya's Hourglass, be safe, and then you can get back out in most situations. It's a very, very important core item on Akali. After you have your Sunya's Hourglass, the thing you're working towards is either going to be a Void Staff or a Rabadon. And the reason for this is very simple. You need as much damage as possible. Do they have a lot of magic resist? Well, Void Staff is great for you. Do they not have that much magic resist? Well, Rabadon is perfect because it gives you a ton of AP, and that's the most damage you can get at this point. So you're gonna opt in for that one, and then you're gonna be able to try and one-shot people, especially backliners like the AD carry, or maybe they have a squishy jungler. A lot of people playing Nidalee nowadays. It's perfect for that, right? So you have to figure out what you're going to get depending on the enemy's match resist. And once you get one of the items, it's very easy for the next one, because you're either going to buy the other one, or you're going to go for Banshee's Veil. You could go Banshee's if you really need the shield proc, but it gives you less damage, so it only depends if you need that shield proc or not. But if you do, Banshee's Veil is also a decent option as your last item. Alright, let's get in and talk about Akali's abilities. So the passive is extremely important. When you hit the enemies with an ability, you get a ring around them. If you walk outside of that, you get a movement speed buff, and then as you run back in towards them, you're going to do more damage when you hit them. It's called the Assassin's Mark. Next up, you have her Q. She throws out shurikens in front of her. If you hit the enemy, she does damage. Again, she applies the mark, so you can walk backwards. And then you can walk in the movement speed buff and an assassin mark, which does extra damage when you hit them. All this is used as your poke, and then you walk back, and then you go in and trade with them. Now it also slows them a little bit, so you can use them for that as well. Alright, for the W, we have Twilight Shroud. This ability is super important. It drops a massive smoke bomb. If you're standing inside the smoke bomb, you get movement speed and you're invisible. So it's really important to use this ability properly, because you can avoid so much damage from the enemies. Now attacking or using your abilities will briefly reveal yourself, so you gotta be careful about your timings, and you gotta time perfectly to try and avoid the enemy's damage while getting your damage out. Next up we have a E ability Shuriken Flip. When using a Shuriken Flip, you throw a Shuriken out, you fly backwards a little bit. If it hits the enemy, you can reactivate it and jump in on the enemies. This ability is extremely important that you can use it. It's very good to use in combination with your smoke bomb, and you need to be able to hit this one. This is probably the most difficult ability on Akali to hit, so go in a practice tool, practice a little bit, make sure you can hit this ability, because it's crucial. Last up, we have Akali's ultimate. This is a really important ability as well. You do add a ton of damage, and this is also your finishing move. First, you click on an enemy, you jump towards them, and you do a bunch of damage. Now her ultimate can be recast after 2.5 seconds, and your second cast is the most important, because that's the one where you're supposed to one-shot the enemy, and you need to kill them on that. It does extra damage based on targets missing health, which means the lower they are, the more damage you do. So this is generally your ending move. You can use this to hit multiple people, you can target in any direction, and you need to be really good at hitting this ability. If you miss it, well, you're gonna look like a fool, your team's gonna flame you, you're probably gonna die. But if you do hit it, you might look like a hero. Now we're gone over her abilities. Now let's talk a little bit about her skill order. As an assassin, your number one priority should be to deal damage. Therefore, you're gonna max the 2 damaging abilities. Now sometimes if you really want to be aggressive, you can level E second as well, but that's a lot more risky. You easily get ganked by the jungler, and it's generally not the thing you want to do. But it can work from time to time, and it depends on the situation you're in. If you know the enemy jungler isn't gonna come, and you want to play as aggressive as possible, you have that option.